Motivation. I'm motivated. But what do you do when motivation is not enough? You rely on your work ethic. You rely on your discipline. That's my mentality. Now let's get it.
To the stage, please welcome Julian Peters.
What's going on, everybody? This is Julian with My Mentality Podcast. I hope you're having an amazing day. I hope you're having a blessed day. As y'all can hear my voice, I'm extremely excited, and I'm going to tell you why. First of all, moving to Arizona has been amazing. I've been able to meet some fantastic people already, been able to interview some, got some more on the way, so be looking out for that. One of the people that I will be interviewing very soon is Hunter Rhoades, my boy Hunter Rhoades, the owner of Baked and Boujee Cookies out here in Surprise, Arizona. Now, I know y'all are real big fans of the My Cookie Dealer, and I feel that they're doing their thing, but I'm going to keep it real. Baked and Boujee is on another level. So here's the announcement, okay? Baked and Boujee and My Mentality Podcast will be partnering together. There will be a discount code available for you to use to get a discount off on those delicious cookies. I'm talking about Captain Crunch, Rocky Roll, S'mores, peanut butter, Reese's peanut butter, whatever you want, you'll get. Each cookie has 12 grams of protein in it as well. I'm telling you, they taste great. They look great. They are half-pound big. I wish I had one right now. I would eat it, but my coach is probably watching, so I won't do that. But as y'all can see, this is a great opportunity. I want you guys to support myself. I want you guys to support Hunter and order as many cookies as you can. Look at me. As many as you can. 30. All right? Love y'all. Have a good one.
What's going on, everybody? This is Julian with My Mentality Podcast. For those listening, welcome back to my voice. For those watching, how are you doing today? Today's guest is the homie I met out in Arizona at EOS Fitness, Mr. Hunter Rhoades. How's it going?
Good, bro. Thanks for having me on.
No problem, no problem. So just to let y'all know a little bit about Hunter before we start, if you've watched my post or you follow me or whatever, you know that he's the owner of Baked and Boujee Cookies. We're going to talk about how that got started, but that'll be more towards the end. But to let y'all know, discount code My Mentality for 10% off. I'm going to link the website in the description and the Instagram. Go buy 30 of everything. All right. So Hunter, man, how's it going today?
Good, bro. Good. Just glad to be on, honestly.
For sure.
Share my story a little bit.
For sure, for sure. So let's start off with the bodybuilding aspect. What got you into bodybuilding?
So to be honest with you, like, man, I used to be so scrawny. I was a little 130-pound kid, and I just wanted to get bigger. That's how it started. Like, I never knew I'd be into bodybuilding like I am. I just wanted to get bigger, So I'd go in the gym, work out here and there. Didn't really take it too seriously. Nothing like no proper nutrition, just working out here and there. Just wanted to get bigger. That's how that started.
Right. So did you play any sports growing up or?
Yeah. A little bit of football, basketball. But honestly, I was real big into golf though.
Really?
Yeah, I played golf for 13 years. Like, it got pretty serious. I was competitive. I played all through school, and even my senior year, I was offered a full-ride scholarship to New Mexico, and I was in Indiana at the time. So there was scouts out there, and I got offered a full-ride scholarship to New Mexico. But being I was young at the time, I didn't take it. So
right.
Right.
So that's funny. My homeboy, the guy, I only know two people that live here when I moved out here. One of them, he works at EOS. So my boy Coop, he works at EOS. So I played college ball with him back in Oklahoma. Okay. And then my friend Clayton is the assistant golf coach at Grand Canyon University.
No kidding.
Yeah. So he's always talking about, I don't know what the hell he's talking about. I just be like, yeah, okay. But yeah, that's funny. So bodybuilding wise, you just recently competed, right?
Yeah, about 6 weeks ago. 6 weeks.
How did that go?
Yeah. It was good, bro. I took first in my class, which, was a good, this is my fifth show. So before that, I did 4 shows as a physique competitor.
Okay.
And then this was my 5th one as a bodybuilder. And so it was completely different. And in my physique shows, I was used to taking 2nd place. I even took 6th place at one. So, excuse me. So to come out there as a bodybuilder and take first in my class, it was a very good feeling.
So, and you say physique, you're meaning classic or were you men's physique?
Men's physique.
Wow. So I didn't know you went from men's physique to bodybuilding.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So what made you transition? Was it what got you started in men's physique, and then what made you make that transition?
So getting into just as I was training, you know, I grew a little bit faster than the people around me, and I started developing a decent physique. And like a lot of people would ask me, like, do you compete, you know, this and that? And I'm like, no, I'm not really. So like for a little bit, I kind of contemplated it, like maybe I should compete, you know, just kind of give it a try, see if I like it. And then so I linked up with a coach in Scottsdale, and he got me ready for my first 2 shows. And then that's kind of how I got introduced to in the whole like bodybuilding scene. And then yeah, I just kind of took off from there. I fell in love with it, like from the start, man. I fell in love with the process. Like I got on stage, I fell in love with that, and it just from there it's a wrap, you know.
No, that's a fact. I remember I tell people all the time, my first show, all natural men's physique show, it was 4 people there. I got 4th. So I got dead last out of 4. Yeah. And I remember walking on stage, and like I tell people, I was so nervous. I started doing the like stanky leg. My leg was so fast. I'm like, why? Like I had to like close my eyes, look down, take a deep breath, and look up to like stop. I was so nervous, but like you said, I was also hooked. Like the minute I got off, I'm like, I can't wait till the next one. So,
and that's the thing too, bro. I was so nervous too. Because my first show was my very first show. I was so nervous, man. But you get out there, and once you get on stage, those lights are so bright, you can't see nothing. You just see the judges, and you're on stage. So you're like, okay, I got this. You know, just do your routine. You know, hit your poses, and then you know, literally before you know it, it's over. Like it's quick. So you know, as you know, but yeah, you go up there, hit your poses. You can't see nothing. Those lights are so bright.
Yeah. So let me ask you this: was it different experience doing it as a bodybuilder compared to men's physique?
Oh, much different. Much different, because you go from having just 2 poses as a men's physique guy, you know, to having the full quarter turns. You got multiple more, so many more poses that you got to hit, and you got to think too, like it's not just your upper body; it's you got to, you know, present well. It's everything from like, you know, the ground up. So you got to make sure your legs are on point the whole time, and as well as as your upper body too. So I mean, it's different, you know. So so it's almost like when I went into that first show, like I was nervous, but then like my second, third, and fourth was like, okay, I know what I'm doing a little bit. Like I've had the experience. Now you just get there and do it. But that 5th one as bodybuilding, it's almost like I had that nervousness all over again because I didn't know what to expect. And but no, it was good, man. It was good.
That's good. So what are the future plans there? You're gonna pack on weight, go more? What's gonna happen?
Yeah. So I'm gonna take a full year off, put some size on, and hopefully move up a weight class, because I was a middleweight at this show. So hopefully I'll put some size on and I'll jump to a light heavy.
Okay. And you said for a year?
Yeah, at least, I mean, I'll give myself, you know, 6 to 8 months to put some size on. And then if I feel like I'm ready, you know, if I'm where I need to be, then I'll get a date for a show picked out, and we'll go from there.
Got you. And so in that 6 to 8 month period and the, you know, the off season, what are some things that you do to stay on track?
It's all about nutrition, man. The nutrition has to be on point, you know, eating the 6 meals a day. And just I'm not with a coach right now, so it's like I'm just kind of, you know, watching myself as the weeks go by. You know, I kind of do my own check-ins every week and make sure my weight's progressing, but also make sure I'm not getting too fluffy, if you want to call it. So I just watch my composition and making sure my meals are on point, and also training, bro. Training is so important. Like you got to have that intensity. If you want to put the tissue on, you got to be intense in the gym. You know, you can't just go in there and just pump train all the time. Like you got to be, you know, I keep a logbook. So whenever I go in there, I know like, okay, I got this last time. I got to beat that.
Right.
You know, so it's just, you got to keep up with the nutrition, the intensity in your training, and just keep progressing. You know, it's a slow process, but you know.
Yeah. Do you switch your training up, you know, from prep to, well, obviously you don't have a coach. I'm sure if you had a coach, you might've been doing it, but are you switching your training? Are you going more heavy? Are you trying to like break down, build, you know, muscle in that way? Or
so I mean, even through prep, bro, like I would still push as hard as I could, even to like the last couple of weeks. Like, you know, you never really want to back off, because you can still, you know, and when you're in prep, those last, like, I don't know what you want to call it, 6 to 8 weeks of prep, like if you train heavy, that's what's going to give you that grainy look and really get those fine details out. So I mean, even through prep, like I was pushing as hard as I could, and you know, now it's just the same thing. You know, now even though I'm not in prep, I'm in my growing season, and you know, you still push as hard as you can, beat the logbook, and just keep moving.
For sure. So So I know we talked about, you know, how you got started as far as being in Indiana, coming out here.
Mhm.
When you decided to do a show, what were you doing prior to that? Before, like, Indiana, moving to Arizona, what were you doing in that situation before you started the bodybuilding?
Oh, bro, it's a long, it's quite a bit, honestly. So we'll take it back. Moved out to Arizona in 2007. Went to high school out here. I was only 17 when I came out. Moved around a little bit. I was in Tucson when I first came out, and honestly, so getting in, like diving a little bit deeper. After I graduated high school, I completely stopped playing golf for the most part, and I got into selling weed, and because I was always a hustler, bro. So you know, I got into selling weed, and I started taking drugs, and just not a good look. And so I did that for a few years, and it caught up with me. At 21, literally like on my 21st birthday, I got arrested, and apparently they had been watching me for a little bit, so it was bound to happen. But what sucks is that I was telling myself like, okay, it's probably time to stop doing this. Like, you know, get your life on track, start doing something real. And sure enough, bro, I got arrested. And then that's what actually brought me up to Surprise, the house I was staying at, because I've been on my own since I was 18.
Mm-hmm.
And so from 18 to 21, I was selling weed, and I had a little part-time job. I was delivering pizzas, but selling was mostly like where my income came from. But after that, bro, I got kicked out of the house I was staying at, and my parents lived up here in Surprise. So like I had to start completely over. I came up here, moved in with them, and for that first 6 months, I got 3 jobs, and I was just busting my ass, bro, just trying to get back on my feet. And and I did. So after 6 months, I moved out, got my own apartment, and just completely changed my life and turned it around, on a positive note. And then I got introduced to some guys that were selling cars. So I'm like, you know what? That's a better opportunity for me to make more money and, for a career. So I left that to go sell cars, and I sold cars for 5 years. And I was doing pretty good. I made good money. and then after that, okay, back it up. I was always like, I was still in the gym, right? So I started training at 23.
Okay.
And so I was working out, lifting weights here and there, nothing too serious, but I fell in love with that. So like after those 5 years, I just quit where I was at, like nothing, no plans, nothing ahead of me. I'm like, you know what? I'm really about this fitness life. This is where I want to take it. So I just completely quit with nothing lined up. So I struggled for a couple months there. And so I was like, I want to be a personal trainer. So I went to the gym that was close to me, and I was like, hey, I want to be a personal trainer. What do I got to do? And the guy was like, well, you have no certification, so I can't bring you on. And I was like, okay, cool. I got to get my certification. So I started doing that. But he was like, but if you work for the gym, there's a program that you could go through to get your certification, and then you could just transfer. So I was like, okay, cool. I was like, are you guys hiring here at the gym? And they weren't hiring at the time. So there was like 2 months where I was like, okay, I have no job, but I had some money saved up, because I was doing all right selling cars. So finally, though, they called me after 2 months, and they were like, hey, we have a position opened up. Do you want to come work for us still? And I was like, hell yeah. So I jumped on with them, and then immediately started my my process to be a personal trainer. And I completed that real quick. Like usually the fitness manager, he said it usually takes people about 8 months. I did it in 2, just because I was so devoted and so dedicated to be a personal trainer.
Right.
So I knocked that out real quick. And then so I started personal training. I picked up a couple clients, and then I just got busy enough to where like that was full time. So I was personal training full time for 2 years. Excuse me. And yeah, so I was personal training for a couple years, and then okay, yeah. So after training, I didn't leave the gym yet, but I was looking for more income because you go from making pretty good money to started out with the gym at minimum wage, and then personal training was a little bump, but it wasn't enough, because I'm a hustler, so I always wanted more. So I looked for something else, and there was a nutrition store that had just opened up, Maximus Nutrition, and they wanted me to consult for them for nutrition. So I started doing consults here and there, just a little bit at a time, and then they wanted me to work in the store. So I started doing that too. So I was training, and then I was working in the store, and and I'll kind of give you that backstory on how I left there. So I was working the front and I was doing personal training. Well, there was another trainer that he left because he had surgery, right? And he approached me. He's like, "Hey, I got all my clients." He's like, "I'm gonna be away for some time." He's like, "Can you take on my clients for me?" And I was like, "Yeah, man, of course, I got you." So I started working out with his clients too, but I was still working the front. So I get up at 4:30 in the morning, or I had to be there at 4:30. So I get up at 3:30, 4 o'clock. I get there, work the front, for a few hours, and then I would head over to the training section or at the gym, and I would be personal training, and I would have to clock out from the front and then go do my thing over for training. And there was once where I forgot to clock out, and I went and told the gym, I was like, "Hey, I forgot to clock out. Can you fix my hours for me?" And she's like, "Yeah, no big deal. I got you." And then I did it again for a second time, and I forgot to mention it to her. She fired me because she thought that I was trying to steal hours. So then I'm just at the nutrition store and just working, grinding, and then I'm like, dang, well, I need something else. I need something else to supplement that income I had, and that's kind of how Baked and Boujee started. It was really just a side hustle, man. But the whole time I really just wanted something where I could focus on bodybuilding and have more time to stay at home and bring enough income in to where I could bodybuild and then have something to where I could pay my bills. And I honestly, bro, I didn't expect it to take off the way it did. It was pretty crazy because I've always baked here and there, like nothing too crazy. But I grew up with my mom in the kitchen, and she's big into baking, cooking, so she showed me everything. So, but I would always like bake little things here and there, and I'd take them to people, and like I would get that satisfaction of like, hey, I made this, try this, and they would love it. So like that right there, like I love that, bro. So it was like I would do that on the side. So I'm like, maybe I could turn this into like a side hustle. So I started doing that, and people loved it. And I'm like, you know what? I got to make a business out of this. So I came up with the name, got my LLC, got my business license, and then it was slow at first. It was but it was a little like a side hustle, like I said. And then funny enough, too, Maximus Nutrition, where I was at, they fired me too because they thought that I was stealing product from them, which I wasn't. And it's funny. A year later, the owner came by the house, my house, and he was like, "Hey, man," he's like, "I just want to let you know, like, I found out it wasn't you that was stealing product, and he's like, I just want to apologize to you. I really feel bad about the whole situation." He's like, "Not even that, but you had the best numbers in our store, you had the best profit." And I was like, "Okay, it's I appreciate your apology, but I had the business at the time, but it wasn't. It still wasn't where it's at by any means at all." So I was kind of struggling, bro. Like, I was just kind of struggling to get by. And then luckily though, 2 months, so, okay, back it up. So I was thinking like, okay, what can I do, to supplement that income? Cause I don't have that anymore. So in the same situation again, like I got to bring more income in because the business wasn't picked up as it is now, obviously. And so I was like, okay, I can personal train, so I went to another gym and I was like, "Hey, I want to be a personal trainer here. I've got the certification, whatever." And so I started training there, and he started me off with 2 clients. And it was a slow gym. And so like I didn't pick up any more clients, but what kind of like how do I put this? The 2 clients that I had, it was an older lady and then her mentally challenged son. And that was like the highlight of their day to come and train with me. So like I'm gonna be honest, like half the time I didn't even charge them. It was just like I felt good, providing that service to them. So I'm still struggling, bro. And I'm like, gosh, what do I do? And I'm just like, I didn't know what to do. And I was blessed that a couple of months later, my business just took off. So I parted ways with the gym and started doing the business full time. And it's just been a blessing, man, honestly. But that's kind of a short story of everything.
No, that's good. So with the I guess making decisions, and a couple things that you kept saying was, you're a hustler, you hustle, and I actually respect that, which makes sense because last time we talked, you got a booth at EOS, you're going to different places, standing out, selling stuff, so that all makes sense. But what would you say your biggest advice would be to somebody who's trying to start a business? Because I think what I like to tell people is like I like to call this beyond surface level. And what I mean is people see you, they see, okay, this guy's a bodybuilder, this guy owns a cookie company. Like, man, I want to do that. And I'm like, do you really? Because there's a lot that goes into that.
Oh, bro, trust me. There's a lot that goes into it. But the biggest thing that I can really say is, like, if you have a passion for something and you want to turn it into a business, just start. Just do your research and find out what it takes to get started, and just do it. It's going to pick up at some point. If you got the passion for it and you really put the time and energy into it, it's going to take off on you. You know, if it's, you know, granted you got something that's, you know, worth creating, but, you know, sure enough for me, just like, man, I'm like, I put so much time and so much energy and so much just of everything I had into it, and it took off. But just getting started is where it, you know, that's the biggest thing that I could take away from it. And also too, like, you can the whole like main thing of this is you can reinvent yourself at any point. You know, I did twice. So I mean, I've been through ups and downs, and I've struggled bad. And you know, now I'm at a good point, but just get started. Like, that's the best way I could put it.
That is the biggest fact. It took me and this is no lie, no cap. Like, I'm being 100%. My coach is the one who suggested that I do this.
Really?
Yeah. My coach he's different, man. It's not just bodybuilding. It's like he's trying to enrich all of us. So we you know, we have a Facebook group. He did a book. Everybody get this book. Let's read it and talk about it every week. Yeah. He's talking to me about different stuff, other people as well. And he used to say, you need a podcast. I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, and in my mind, I'm terrified because I'm like, I don't know if people like my voice. I don't know if I could talk. He's like, no, you can do this. Like, I'm telling you, you're good at it. Like, you do it. And so what my big excuse was, I don't have the equipment. Like, I don't have a computer. I don't have a camera. I don't have this. I need a better camera. I need a better mic. And he said, bro, just get started.
That's it. That's all it is, bro.
You can add the rest later. And that's literally what I've done. I started this in January of this year. And within my first 3 months, I put some stuff out. People liked it. Again, I haven't blown up, but people liked it. I'm like, okay. So I bought a better mic. Boom. Yep. I'm like, all right. So then it goes better. Okay. So then I bought a camera. Like, and I'm adding these pieces to it. But
and you progress as you go.
Exactly. But it never happens unless you fucking start.
You gotta start. Exactly, bro. And that's the biggest thing. You just gotta start. Yeah. No matter what. Because I'll tell you, like, when I first started Baked and Boujee, I first started out doing keto stuff. I did like low sugar, no carbs, this and that. And it was cool. Like, people liked it. But it took me probably 6 months to get the recipe right for the half-pound cookies that I do. So for that first 6 months, I wasn't even doing those big cookies. I was just doing like cupcakes, muffins, brownies, stuff like that. And it was good for a little bit. But then once I started doing those half-pound cookies, man, it just took off on me. Yeah. And then that's the biggest part, is just get started. You'll figure it out as you go. And I learn every day, just trying to, better the business and just keep it growing. But like, I'm telling you, bro, you should have seen when I first started, man. You should have seen when I first started in the half-pound cookies, they look like shit. And so like it took me a while to get it down, but now I've got a good recipe and it works and people love them. But yeah, just get started and then you figure it out as you go. That's sure. It.
So where are you getting the innovation to these flavors and these creations? I'm like, I kid you not, you might be the first person. And I'm a guy, I'm on TikTok. I'm always looking at food. I watch YouTube foods. If it's not bodybuilding, I'm watching the YouTube food. I have never seen somebody put Captain Crunch berries in a freaking cookie. And when I saw that, I was just like, yo, this is next level. Like, this is crazy. So what makes you, go through that process of those flavors and putting stuff together?
So one of the biggest ways that I come up with my flavors is I'll literally go to the store. And I'll stand in the aisle for like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and I'll just be looking at stuff. And I'm like, okay, what can go good together? And I'm like, if I come up with if I find one piece, like one thing that I'm like, okay, those will be good. Now I got to find 2-3 more things that'll pair with it well enough to make a cookie. And honestly too, like, I'm creative. I'm super creative. So I'm always thinking of like different ways to make new cookies. And a lot of my cookies too, they come from like childhood stuff that I liked to eat when I was a kid. So you just find other things that pair well with them. And even if you don't think it might, just experiment, so I've got over 100 flavors, bro.
Really?
I've got a lot of flavors. And it just, yeah, a big part of it is just going to the store. I'll see something new. I'm like, oh, that would be good in a cookie. What else could I put with it? You know, so it's just kind of like that, just piecing it together and just finding different things that I could put with it. And like I said, I'm super creative, so I'm always thinking of new flavors. If I think of, you know, even if I think of a flavor before I know what to put into it, I'll think of it, and then I'll go to the store and think, okay, I have this idea for a cookie. What could that be? You know, and then I'll just start hand picking different stuff, and that's really how the flavors come about.
Right. That's what's up, bro. That is amazing, to be honest. Like that.
Thank you.
That's amazing. Even the Pop-Tarts.
Mm-hmm.
Tarts on the cookie. Like when I saw that, I'm like, I've never seen that before either. So
bro, I use every Pop-Tart that there is. So then that's another thing too, is like just off that by itself. There's so many different flavors of Pop-Tarts. Like I use every Pop-Tart there is. So
right.
It's like, you know, no matter what it is, I'll find out, like I'll start with the Pop-Tart and then I'll just think about what could pair well with that. And that's how it comes.
That's what's up, bro. Sorry, y'all. I'm taking my headphones off. So and talk a little bit about the cookie, because I know that you put like 12 grams of protein in them. They're not really like super fattening or not crazy. So what's that like?
So I don't even put protein powder in them. It's just collectively all the ingredients that you get. It comes out to anywhere from like I say 10 to 12 grams of protein per cookie. I mean, it varies obviously per cookie that you get, because not all ingredients are the same, but they're roughly about 10 to 12 grams of protein, 500 to 600 calories. And keep in mind, like that sounds like a lot, but it's a half-pound cookie, so you get a lot of cookie. And the biggest thing that with my cookies is I don't use a whole lot of sugar. So I always say, like, compared to other cookies, they're a bit healthier than most because I don't use a lot of sugar, and so they're not overly sweet. Like I don't know if you've tried other different cookies from different places, but some of them you bite into it and it's just overly sweet and you can't eat that whole thing.
Right.
And it's just too much. So like I backed off on the sugar. I don't use a whole lot of sugar, and that right there is just sugar and carbs. So that's a big reason that they're not as unhealthy. I mean, they're still unhealthy for you, obviously, but they're not as bad.
Right.
So I just don't use a lot of sugar.
Okay. So and as far as your demographic for cookies, is this like mostly bodybuilders, or is it like outside of the realm? Because what I find is like
everybody. Everybody. And that's when I first started. I kind of targeted bodybuilders because all bodybuilders love that post-show treat. So that's kind of how I started. But even at my farmers markets, like I've got families that'll come every single weekend and reorder them, like just every single weekend because they love them. So even kids love them, bodybuilders love them, even older people like them too. Like I've got a lot of older people who are regulars that come see me every weekend.
So I feel like the cookie, like one of the things you said that I agree with 100% when you said that like you use a lot of the ways you grow up or your memories to make them, because the cookies do bring like a nostalgic type of feeling.
Absolutely.
Like it brings the kid back out of you, especially some of the flavors I'm looking at. I'm like, I could literally probably take a bite of this and then like flash back to when I'm 8 years old. And so, I understand that a lot, which would make sense. Older people probably feel the same thing too. Like this is childhood.
Yep. So that's so example, like one of my cookies that I've got is my Nutty Buns cookie, and it's literally just Nutty Buddies, honey buns, and peanut butter.
Wow.
And like you can't tell me as a kid like you didn't eat honey buns and Nutty Buddies.
Okay, so I'm gonna be honest with you. I hate honey buns.
What?
I don't know why. And you know what the crazy thing is? I don't like honey buns, and I'm not a big fan of cinnamon rolls either.
What? Bro, I love cinnamon rolls.
Like
my cinnamon roll cookie,
it literally
has a cinnamon. It's literally got a cinnamon roll in the middle of it.
And I would eat it. Like I would definitely try it. And it's not that I don't like. Okay, let me rephrase that. I just don't prefer. It ain't that I don't like cinnamon rolls. I'm just not looking at them for my first dessert to have. I am actually, I'm a sweets guy, like bad. So like I'm the type of person, I won't eat a cake if it has whipped icing. Like you have to have the buttercream icing on it. And I want it to be like caked on. Like that's me. It's bad. It's bad. I blame my mom because she is like that. Like we would have sweet tea, but it was dang near syrup because there was so much sugar in it, bro. So
bro, it's the same thing. Like my mom, like she was big, like when we were growing up, she was big on sweet tea.
Right.
And I swear, bro, she would put like it was almost like she had sweet tea with the sugar because she would use so much sugar in it.
Yep.
And that reminds me of that. She used to use so much sugar in her sweet tea, and like she would love that. But that kind of reminds me of that a little bit.
All right, y'all. I'm going live right now too, so people gonna be able to see me live. Not you, just me. Sorry.
Cool.
Sorry. So, what are your plans for Baked and Boujee? Like, where do you see this going? Are you gonna want a storefront one day? Do you even think that's necessary? Like, what are you wanting?
Yeah. So no, I'm always thinking about that too. And for the longest past couple of years, I've been thinking about getting a storefront because I'm getting to that point now where I can't keep up with the demand personally.
Right.
So it's getting to that point now where I either need a store or I need to start, hiring more people to come on and help me out.
Right.
Because I just can't almost meet the demand for the product that I'm putting out. But I think what I'm actually going to do is I'm thinking about getting a food truck, a little more cost effective, and I'm mobile too, so I can move around, hit different gyms and this and that. And then I can have somebody work that food truck for me. Then I can buy another truck, put somebody on that truck, and then just start buying more trucks and sending them out. And then once the brand is bigger, then I'll get a storefront.
That actually is a killer idea. That has never crossed my mind. Like a cookie food truck. You will knock every ice cream man out of Arizona if you do something like that, man.
Shit, I hope so.
and so do you think it would be just cookies, or would you have like coffee and stuff like that?
Or so I've even thought of my own. It's funny you say that too, because I've been thinking about creating my own coffee recipe and making it and calling it Boujee Brew.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking about doing that. And also one thing I just started doing too was edible cookie dough. And I literally just started that, and I've got some good feedback from it. So I'm going to start putting out some edible cookie dough. And so I'll have both. I'll have cookies and the cookie dough as well.
Okay, that's what's up. So how is it? I had to ask this. So how is it being a bodybuilder in prep and having a cookie company?
Shit, bro, I'm telling you, it's so hard. I'm like, my entire kitchen is dedicated to the business. So It's like, I've got this huge shelf of just all types of goodies, like you name it, like Pop-Tarts, like it's coffee cakes, cinnamon rolls. Like, I mean, I've got everything. This is full. And so it's very difficult. But then again, too, like since I'm around it so much, it kind of, makes it a little bit easier to work with. But those cravings don't go away. You still want something, but I'm pretty disciplined. So just keep moving. You gotta separate the work from the pleasure,
No, for sure. So, and I know you was delivery and like shipping something else like a piece that you added on after you started.
Yeah. So I started off and I would just make pickup available. I was never big into like delivery because I didn't want to have to be out here delivering. So like, since I started the business while I was at Maximus Nutrition, I would just have people come there because it was like a pickup location that they could come to.
Right.
So that's how that started. But then once I left Maximus, I was like, okay, how do I get my product out there? So then I started shipping.
Okay. And did that help? Like, did it?
Big time, big time, bro, big time. Once I did that, then I can start targeting people all across the U.S.
Right.
So I've done Instagram, just hustling, and not necessarily buying or paying for advertisements. But I would just go through and like all my followers are organic. I don't pay for followers, but I would target bodybuilders. So I would just go through and find bodybuilders. I start liking their pictures, and then they would see the cookies. They'd follow me, and then they start placing orders, and that's just like it just kept going from there.
How successful has the TikTok been?
So I just recently started the TikTok about 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And I'm honestly, I don't use TikTok to promote. I literally, honestly, I only use TikTok for the videos.
Yeah.
So I'm not even promoting on TikTok. I just use them for the videos, and then which I'll put on Instagram. But I don't really promote through TikTok for the business too much.
I got you. That makes sense. The only reason I asked, so my mom does a lot of her promoting now on TikTok.
Really?
Yeah, it's something that she's been talking to me about like crazy. You've heard of the Clubhouse app?
No.
Okay, so it's a new app where it's like a lot of they have conference rooms and people come and they talk and they form groups within these rooms, but they're like information rooms. Like there's one about podcasts where a guy runs a podcast. Well, my mom found groups where it's a bunch of bakers but she's with people that are like, have been on Food Network, have won baking shows on Food Network, that own this, and this, and they're just giving advice and information on how they got their business going, how they're upping. Like she talks to me about this. Mom, if you're listening, she talks to me about this like daily, because she's made connections through it. She's networking. I think she's getting ready to fly out to some sweets convention class that a lady offers, but she met through there. And the only reason I say that is because TikTok is really big for them now. And the videos you do, they do videos like that, and it gains following, and they've gained like brand partnerships off TikTok from that.
Okay.
KitchenAid mixers for free. Try this out, review it for us from that. So that's why I was asking if you did. It might be something to look into. And
absolutely, And TikTok is so. Go ahead.
Also, my last thing, I'll let you go. My bad. If you're going to do videos, this is a gem for me, and I spoke to a marketing person about this and that. If you're gonna do the reels on Instagram, you have to do that as a separate video. If they see the TikTok in it, they're not gonna push your stuff to the front for people to see.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Did not know that. Yeah, I literally use TikTok for the videos.
Yeah. I trust, bro. I was doing the same thing. And I'm like, why am I not getting any traction? Like, I know I ain't famous, but I'm like, I'm not getting nothing. And then my friend, her name is Bailey Martindale. She owns her own marketing company. That's what she does. She does branding and marketing. And she told me that, like, if you have, because they're basically competitors. So I guess TikTok and Instagram, like Instagram is getting ready to go to like a full video platform. And so like all the pictures and stuff we post, they're getting ready to vamp Instagram to like compete with TikTok. Like it's about to go down basically.
And I can see that because TikTok is blowing up. TikTok is huge. Yep. TikTok is almost bigger than Instagram.
Yep. And like, so now Instagram was like, wait a minute, hold on. So they're getting ready to try to do their thing. So that's when we were talking about it. And she was talking about the reels. Like you want to do the same video, but just use one for TikTok to add music, and then use the other one for reels on Instagram and add music there. I had 2 videos where I ended up like, this is highest for me, but I ended up with like 10,000 plays and like 300 likes a piece on the 2 lifting videos I did. I did my hashtags and stuff, but I timed it right. So I figured out there was the right timing. And then I did that. I didn't use TikTok. I did a video and used reel. It's basically like TikTok almost. Yeah. Added me a good song that was catchy, and it like that, those 2 like blew up. So just think about that too.
Yeah, definitely. I can consider that, because I'm always looking to push my content out there, and like you said before, with like networking, that's so huge. You know, making different connections, and that's really what kind of pushes the business out. When you can network and find new connections, that's huge.
Yeah, that's exactly what I like. Once I think I know I met you way before I knew that you did cookies. I just saw this dude in the gym that was shredded. I'm like, you had to be on stage. Like, I remember like being like, yo, you compete? Like, yeah, I just did a show. That's what's up. But even like the fact that we had conversation and now we're doing this, that's networking. Like, I look at all that as networking. So
definitely
it's something that a skill a lot of people should acquire, because I know people, especially when it comes to certain situations, that are not qualified for the positions that they're getting, but they network at an exceptional pace. So you can't compete with that. Like, you just can't compete with it.
Not at all. And it's so huge. Networking is so big. And it's not even just like in bodybuilding or baking, but I mean, everywhere. Networking is huge, and that's how you really grow.
For sure. So
find connections.
So when you said, you're thinking about a storefront, I love the food truck idea. I think that's freaking that's so dope to me. Like, I would love to see that. So as far as like, do you do shirts? Do you have apparel? Do you do those things? Is that something?
Yeah, I've got shirts too. I've actually got to put an order in here soon, because bro, when I put shirts out, they sold out so fast.
I bet.
So I got to get some new ones here soon. Actually, I've been talking to a couple of different guys and just kind of price matching and see what I can do. Yeah. But I'm about to put a big order in for some more shirts, and I'm thinking about doing like crop hoodies for girls, doing some tank tops, and because I just started out with t-shirts. That was it. And so I've been thinking about doing like hoodies, crop hoodies for girls, tank tops for girls and guys, and just really just putting new content out there.
I tell you right now, bro. So I do clothes for my mentality. Those crop tops are money.
Yeah,
they are. The hoodies are money, and the regular shirts, they're money. Like most of the stuff that I've gotten sold off my little site has been the crop tops from girls.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, you have crop tops. So yeah, those are money, bro.
And that's why I say that too, because I've had so many girls like, you have crop tops? No, I don't. So that's kind of how that came about. So I'm gonna start doing those for sure.
Yeah, that's what's up. So, man, I guess we've been talking for a little while right now. I really don't have much else to talk about as far as the business goes and cookies, but I do kind of want to bounce back real quick before we end everything and talk about the hustling aspect of the weed game that you was in. That's very interesting to me. So can you say that some of the things you learned in that game have helped you now with what you're doing with cookies?
1,000%. 1,000%. And if you don't have the go get it mentality, go get it, get after it mentality, you're not going to succeed. You have to have that mentality all the time. So I'm always trying to, think of ways that I can progress my business and just keep growing it exponentially. And if you don't have that hustle mentality and like that go get it, you're not going to succeed. People that are hungry for it and always want it, that's how you're going to keep progressing. But that taught me that from a young age, so I can completely relate that to the business now, for sure.
Right.
For sure.
Right. And so when you're talking about, the go get it and the hustling, can you explain a little bit of what it was like doing this while you were prepping? Because a lot of people, and I know you know this because you're a bodybuilder, other bodybuilders act like their life is so hard because they have to work and prep. And I'm like, that's probably 98% of the people who do what we do. So what was that like, having to own a business, having to be at the gym, the farmers markets, while you're eating correctly, while you're working out, while you're doing the cardio? And how did you, I don't even know if you can say balance both, because it's really 100% for both, but how did you do both?
So like you said, 100%, it has to be 100% for everything, because you can't give 100% to, let's say, bodybuilding and then slack off on the business, because then your income falls. So you got to give 100% to everything. And, it's like, there is some balance. You got to figure out how to just time manage, so I work 80 to 100 hours a week, but still do bodybuilding full time. It's just all about time management, and you got to put 100% into everything, as you know.
Right. So do you have help?
No. I mean, I have some people that'll work like farmers markets for me and set up booths here and there. But as far as like all the product and all the business aspects of it, it's just all me.
That's crazy, bro. Did you make any mistakes?
I make mistakes all the time. Yeah, no, I've made several mistakes, but you learn from them, and that's how you grow. You know, so you make a mistake, you learn from it, you move on. But I've made several mistakes.
Okay. So it wasn't all just a easy road.
Absolutely not. Yeah. Absolutely not.
Right. Okay. Good deal, man. So look, man, we had a great conversation. I don't want to hold you too much longer. It's getting late. For my people that are watching, again, thank y'all for coming and enjoying my beautiful face and Hunter's. I know we fine, so you ain't got to tell us in the comments. For the people that are listening, I appreciate you listening. Again, like I said, I'm going to link the website. I'm going to link the Instagram. You guys got to look at this stuff. I'm telling you, these cookies are next level. If you do like what you see, discount code Mentality, MINETALITY, for 10% off. I promise you, you're gonna love these cookies. If you don't come back to me if you don't like the cookies and be like, I don't like them. Your taste buds suck. That's the problem. Okay. So other than that, man, y'all have a great rest of the day. And thank y'all for listening.